Okay, so some people say that the bullying in our country is getting better. I disagree with that. You know why I disagree with that? Because I just heard a story recently where this grandmother was bullied on a public bus. And it was bullied to the point so bad where they managed to raise a couple $1,000s for her to retire early and shit. Really? Wow. I mean, it's bad enough that these high school students are getting bullied to the point where they're committing suicide or pulling a mass shooting. But then you're going to go and bully an elderly woman. What exactly did she do to you? Okay? People say the bullying is getting better in our country. Bullshit. You know? And sometimes talking about it isn't enough, unfortunately. Now, I'll give you an example of this. I'm watching the Young Turks, and I'm noticing this one YouTuber that goes by the name of Hermione Granger. This isn't obviously the real Emma Watson, you know what I'm saying? It's just some random bullshit YouTuber troll, and this person seems to be directing a lot of negative comments towards Anna, one of the TYT workers, and I'm like, half the time she doesn't read the comments anyway, so you're wasting your time typing them, for one thing. And for another thing, it's like, what the fuck did she do to you exactly for you to just lash out at her like that? You know what I'm saying? It's bullshit. Especially when I'm seeing these stories of, you know, these kids and what have you. You know, like a couple of videos ago I mentioned I saw a video on Facebook of these kids getting into a fight at Chuck E. Cheese, and you didn't actually see the fight start, you just, you know, saw it halfway through there. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Really? I mean, it's disgusting when you see shit like that happen, but at the same time, you know. And here's the thing, though. I mean, if you're getting bullied in school, yeah, it sucks. It does. I was there once, you know. Worst 4 years of your life. I mean, I've been out of high school for 4 years myself, so graduated in 2010 from Shorna County High School. You know, that's just it, man. I mean, you're not in high school to make friends. You're there to learn and get an education. However, having friends in high school and people to hang out with during lunchtime and bullshit on the weekends, it does make the high school experience just a little bit easier. Well, the weird thing of it, too, is I wasn't one of the popular kids in high school, but everyone knew who I was. Yeah. And if teens are committing suicide or pulling mass shootings because they feel like the bullying is getting to be too much, that ain't going to solve anything. You pull a mass shooting, you end up getting shot by one of the cops or going to jail the rest of your life, or killing yourself by your own gun, or you end up killing yourself over it. It's just, no. Okay, that's not gonna solve anything. Okay? It's not. Rule of thumb on that, if you're getting bullied in high school, I mean, we're not talking that they called you a faggot and laughed at you. That's child's play compared to, you know, some of the shit people go through. Not talking about stuffing you in a trash can, giving you a wedgie, shit like that. You know, giving you a wet willy just because they can. Shit like that. Okay, that's pretty much bullying, you know. If you're encountering shit like that, then, you know, let staff know that, hey, this person is bullying me, I need you to make it stop, please, I'm trying to get an education here. Because after all, every high school preached the same bullshit that, you have a right to a harassment-free education. You know, don't really enforce it very well, do they? At least they didn't when I was growing up. You know, at least give staff the benefit of the doubt, because, again, there's only so many staff members, and 9 times out of 10, the number of students outweighs the number of staff members, so, you know, 3 chances, okay? If the bullying has not stopped after the 3rd time, you know, that's when you confront your bully and say, hey, could you please stop harassing me? I don't appreciate it. Well, what are you going to do about it? Okay. That's when you kick the ever-living shit out of them. Now, and I experienced this too in high school. Like, I'd get bullied in high school, and I'd give the benefit of the doubt and let staff know and ignore it and walk away like they tell me to do, right? And it didn't work. Ignoring it and walking away does not work because they can just follow you and continue hazing you, okay? And so, in the worst case, in this case, if you do decide to kick your bully's ass and fight back, you know, worst case scenario, you get suspended from school for fighting. That's when you look at them and be like, well, I wouldn't have had to punch them if you would have actually done your fucking job and then let them eat that for dinner or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it sucks when that shit goes down, but it is what it is, you know. But you hear about these stories where you're hearing about teens who are committing suicide because they're being bullied. You have this one girl who jumped off a building because she just couldn't take it anymore. And again, you shouldn't let bullying get to you that much. I mean, you're going to encounter bullies when you get out of high school too, unfortunately. You know, and it's just part of life. It sucks, but it's part of life, you know. And the best thing you can do is to be a bigger person about it and not let it get to you. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be, and I'll give you an example. YouTube. Okay. I'm watching TYT, and I noticed that this YouTuber who calls himself Hermione Granger, not the real Hermione Granger, obviously, just some random obnoxious troll. They seem to be bullying Anna Kasparian on TYT, and I'm just like, really? What the fuck did she do to deserve that? And the answer is nothing. Well, she's a feminazi. So what? Okay, people are allowed to have their own opinions. You may not agree with that person's opinion, but again, that's life. There was a story recently where this pipe tobacco does not want to light, does it? There was a story recently where this elderly woman was being bullied on a bus, and it got so bad, you know, and they raised several thousands of dollars for her so she can retire early. I'm like, what drives a person to bully someone, let alone an elderly woman? You know what I'm saying? That shit's kind of messed up. I'm just saying. I mean, you don't see people doing a good deed just for the hell of it, you know? It's just something you don't see every day. I mean, hell, the other day I was coming home from work, and I noticed we had some new neighbors coming into the complex, and I stopped to help them finish moving in, just because I could, you know? I felt good doing that because, you know, it's like, hey, you know, there are still good people out there. It's just, you know. But when the media chooses to focus on the negativity and the bullshit, that's all people see, so they generally assume that's all people are going to be like. And that really ain't fair, is it? No, it isn't. I've had a mad craving for pipe tobacco lately. I find it to be very relaxing and sweet smelling, and yeah. And pipe tobacco is certainly a lot healthier for you than the tobacco found in cigarettes. But here's the thing, if you're getting bullied in school, you know, like I said, give staff the benefit of the doubt and at least make an effort to, you know, let staff know that you're being harassed. You know, I mean, how are they supposed to stop it if you're not communicating with them? You know, at least, you know. But for me growing up, it was, you know, they'd preach it, but they sure as hell wouldn't practice it. There it goes. I mean, yeah, if you're feeling depressed about shit, there's always alternatives. Case in point, the front of my shirt here. You know, marijuana is actually an awesome antidepressant. It's all natural, and your body's designed to receive it. Cannabinoid receptors. Google it. That's another thing that pisses me off. The fact that marijuana is still illegal in most states. And it's been proven to cure cancer, and it makes your country a shit ton of money. What's wrong with that? Nothing. And then you find out that George Washington, our first president, smoked weed for his toothaches. And then you find out that Albert Einstein smoked weed for his Asperger's. A couple of facts that make you go, wait a second. Facts like that make me hate the drug war even more than I already do. And how much do you want to bet there'd be a lot less police brutality out there if some cops had the option to get stoned after work, right? They probably do, too. There's probably some cops out there who will confiscate the weed you have on you, give you a shit ton of fines for it, throw you in jail for it, and then smoke it when no one's looking. And that shit really just pisses me off. And it further proves why we need to legalize weed so we can stop bullshit like that from happening. People who belong in jail. Serial killers, murderers, rapists, and child molesters. Stoners? No. Stoners don't belong in jail. Fuck that. Every time you go to bust a pothead, it comes out of your back pocket and my back pocket. The taxpayers' money is what pays people to be in prisons and shit. It pays people to prison people, basically. And so far we have 22 states that have legalized it. At least some are completely legal, some are medical, so it's a good start. But if you know, people are committing suicide because they're being bullied, you know, it obviously hasn't gotten any better, has it? And unfortunately, talking about it and bitching about it's not enough. It really isn't, you know. And I imagine students get real tired of it, sitting through the assemblies at school, having to hear about how their school is a zero-tolerance policy school, and, you know. And sometimes, you know, when staff doesn't enforce it, it's not intentional, you know. I mean, because like I said, sometimes there's more students than staff members, so, you know, it happens, obviously. Then you get the cases where the student goes to report that another student is bullying them, and then frickin' that student comes back to bully that person again, saying, "Why'd you rat me out? Why'd you rat me out, you little pussy, you little fucking rat, kick your ass." And that shit really sucks. And that makes people a lot less likely to come forward and say, "Hey, so-and-so is harassing me," right? But, a little news flash for you, YouTube. Once you get out of high school, you know, there's going to be bullies in the real world, too. I guarantee it. You know, it's part of life, unfortunately. The best thing you can do is, you know, not let it affect you. You know, plain and simple. The best thing you can do is say, fuck it, that's life. You know, it is what it is, right? We had another incident. This happened a couple months ago, but Oklahoma State grounds, right? And the whole religious monument thing. They said, well, yeah, you can put the Ten Commandments up on state grounds so long as it's funded by your church or whatever. Okay, so they did that. Then the Satanists wanted a statue of Satan up, and everyone's like, oh, no, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. And I'm like, excuse me, but I believe their loophole was funded by your religion. And they did. They got funds together and they put it together and they now have it up there. Now, if you didn't have a problem with your religion, did you? But soon as someone else tries to, you know, show off their beliefs or whatever, now it's a problem. And yeah, Fox News pretty much displayed the hypocrisy at its finest when they bitched about it. All these Christian right-wing extremists going, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm like, why not? You know, not everyone in that city practices Christianity. Okay. As far as religion goes, there really is no difference. I mean, as far as basicness of it, really. Each religion, you go to your service, you learn about your religion, you pray to your deity, your God, or whatever you want to call it, and you practice it. Doesn't matter what it is, it's just the basic principle of religion, period. So, you look at it like that, and it's like, oh, there really isn't a difference after all, is there? Apart from what you name your deification or godlike thing, whatever you want to call it. But this is supposedly a land of the free. Yet gays can't get married, and if you have Asperger's and you smoke weed, you get caught smoking it, and they throw you in jail for it. Yeah. Well, we are free on some issues, but there's some issues we're not, and it's disgusting. You know, I support gay rights. I'm not gay myself, but I mean, I understand it, but just because we don't understand something doesn't mean we are intolerant of it, does it? No, because that shows ignorance. Because when it comes to love, who are you as a person to say who someone can and can't love? Okay? This is the thing that pisses me off about the whole anti-gay thing. You get these politicians who are so against gay rights, it's not even funny, but then behind closed doors they're jerking into lesbian porn on UJizz or whatever. The sticky hypocrisy of it. And some people say, well, it's in the Bible, God says he hates gays. Fact check. It's in the Old Testament. New Testament doesn't say that. Alright, and the reason behind that may be because Old Testament, there wasn't as many people on this planet, and they needed people to reprocreate and populate the earth. So, obviously it was frowned upon, but, you know, times have definitely changed since then. So. Tell you what, if I was president, I'd legalize weed and I'd legalize gay marriage, and I'd say have at it. But I'm not old enough to be a president, and I don't have any political background, so obviously I can't run for office. Especially when you legalize weed in areas where the job economies could be better, could be worse, or it's just plain shit. Okay? There's areas in our country where people are literally out of work. There's no job for them to work, and as a result, the economy in that area just sucks. Okay? You legalize weed out there, you have to have a place to grow it and have a place to sell it. So you have a storefront and a farm. That creates a lot of jobs. Holy shit. And people say, well, we don't want marijuana legalized. Well, why not? Look at how much money Colorado is making on a day-to-day basis. You know, something to think about. Find out that our first president, George Washington, smoked weed for his toothaches. Then you find out that Albert Einstein smoked weed for his Asperger's. Then you find out Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, experimented with LSD and weed. And then you find out our current president said, yes, I inhaled frequently when I was a kid. Then you get these banks who are saying, we're not taking that marijuana money because it's a sketchy deal for us. So as a result, the government says, well, if the banks won't take it, we're going to take it. And if marijuana is a drug, then I guess that makes the government the drug dealers in this situation, doesn't it? Truth of it is, though, marijuana is a plant, it's not a drug. You know, some poor cops kind of sit between Colorado and Cheyenne, going, which car has weed in it? Which car has a piece in it? And a cop could be doing a better job of going after meth heads, rapists, serial killers, murderers, and child molesters and necrophiliacs, but no, we're going to waste our efforts going after pot smokers. It's disgusting. Situation reversed, and if it was a cop's mother or a DEA agent's mother that had cancer and nasty-ass chemo treatment, one of the side effects of having cancer is you have no appetite and you can't sleep. One of the two side effects of marijuana, it makes you hungry and it makes you sleepy, and it kills pain. They say laughter is the best medicine, right? Well, if marijuana makes you laugh, does that mean marijuana is the best medicine? Even if you don't smoke weed, going back to the, bullying in our country. If you're out there and you're getting bullied, talk to someone you trust and find a way to cope with it, because killing yourself or pulling a mass shooting, it's not the answer. It isn't. Last year, as a matter of fact, the Chorna County High School, I believe it was, found a list in a bathroom that said people to kill, and it had a list of students' names. And they found the person who had written that list, and they threw him in jail and all that, and they expelled him from school before anything happened, thankfully enough. So, yeah, one of those things. What really pisses me off about shootings, especially is when we find out that the shooters have Asperger's syndrome. I'm like, fucking just perfect. The reason I say that is because idiots in our country who see that shit on the news and go, oh, that must mean all people with Asperger's are evil and sadistic and shooter crazed. Fuck that shit. The same people are saying, well, this is why we shouldn't let Aspies have guns, because the shooters we've had, it pisses me off. It really does, Now, especially if you're trying to go to church and just be your average everyday Christian, just living your life, and then you gotta hear about assholes like the Westboro Baptist Church making Christians look bad. Shit sucks, doesn't it? Well, the same can be said if you watching the news and some idiot just kills a bunch of people and says they did it because of Satan or some shit like that. Now Satanists have a bad name too. Fucking perfect. Way to fuel the religious hate war we have going on, that's been going on for ages. And if you want to protest legalizing weed, wear a shirt with a pot leaf on it. That's all I gotta do. It shows people out there that you support the cause. Because they're wearing this shirt's not illegal. you want a shirt like this, check out your local Spencer's. But maybe if marijuana was legalized, and you know, it might help with some of the depression issues we have. You know, if these antidepressants these drug companies are giving you, side effects may include blah, 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 blah. You know, side effects of marijuana may include cotton mouth, easy time sleeping, severe case of munchies, slight paranoia, occasional fits of giggling. Here's the thing though, if you're in high school and you're in the health education, right, and they're telling you that marijuana is evil, it's a gateway drug and blah, 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 they're already feeding that mass propaganda and that lie. But then you go to a buddy's house and your buddy's got a little bit of weed on him, and, you know, you want to try this? Well, I don't know, the teacher said that was bad, and it could lead to me doing crystal meth, and don't be a pussy, let's try it, okay. You try it and you find it's not as bad as society has been saying it's been, as society has said it's been, you know. And you go, what else have they lied to me about? Under that false pretense, you're more likely to experiment with other drugs, or substances, if you will. Then you get these gang attacks, right? And fucking someone finds an empty bag of marijuana on someone. Oh, this is why we should, fuck that shit. Okay. We had a story recently that really just pissed me off. We had a student from Casper, or from Wyoming, who went to Colorado, and he had an edible and jumped off a building. And they're saying the cause of death was marijuana. No, stupid, the cause of death was his jump, okay? Now, what led him to jump off the building, I don't know, okay? Some people are trying edibles for the first time, never even smoked pot, and they're getting so stoned they can't move, and they hate it because they want to get a drink of water and they can't move because they're so stoned, and it's laughable, but at the same time, okay, if you've never tried pot, never done it, okay, pace yourself, okay, and that's coming from a pot smoker, okay. If you've never tried marijuana and you're trying an edible, edibles are a lot stronger than smoking it. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you that, okay? And you may not feel it within the first 5 minutes or so, so if you have like the peach chocolate bar that I had on YouTube a while back, you know, take a bite of it and see how it makes you feel. And, you know, needless to say, I ate that entire bar in one night, and I was plenty stoned. It was quite fun, actually. There's a reason why that chocolate bar cost me $15 from one of my people I used to go to. Because that chocolate peach bar was 100% THC. And going back to the incident I had at Fort Laramie a couple of days ago, I had a little clay pipe on me, and because it looked like a pot pipe from a distance, and I was out and about breaking it in with this very same can of pipe tobacco that I had in my back pocket, you know, my dad goes, "Put that away, there were children here." I'm like, "So?" He goes, "From a distance, that looks like a pot pipe." I'm like, "Whatever, man." He's like, "What, you know?" So I put it away because I'm like, I'm not going to fight with my father on the 4th of July. I'm just not going to fucking do that shit. And that especially pissed me off because my dad admits to trying pot once. He said, "No, I didn't care for it." I'm like, fucking hypocritical as all hell, right? So anyway, I'm walking about, and I've stopped outside this area in Fort Laramie where they sell the sarsaparillas and stuff, and these two cops are sitting there. They're talking to me. "Got anything on you?" I'm like, "Nope. No pot, no meth, nothing." They're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's pipe tobacco, okay?" I pull this very same tin out of my back pocket, and the cop that's there goes just like this. "Well, that's pipe tobacco. I'm ready to smell it." "Oh, here you go." Hands it back to me, and he then says, "Oh yeah, I enjoy a pipe every once in a while, and He then says, well, you don't see too many people smoking a pipe these days. I'm like, well, yeah, well. You know, I'm just like, really? You know. And this guy, I remember seeing this shit too. Out of the corner of my eye, there's this couple sitting there, and this guy's just watching the whole thing go down with this amused look on his face, like, really? I'm like, you know what? It's just one of those moments in life where you go, wow. Still laughing about it. So I could have been wearing this t-shirt that day, and I've been like, what? It's the 4th of July. It's patriotic, you know. Fuck. And yeah, there's times when you're having a really shitty day, just like, you know what? This sucks. I fucking hate it, you know. Smoke a little bit of weed and don't stress it, you know. And you don't have to smoke weed to not stress life. It's a subconscious decision. But smoking weed does make it a little bit easier, doesn't it? It certainly does. Now, if people actually come up to me and I would have had it in my pipe and been like, smell this. He would have been like, oh, this pipe doesn't smell like marijuana. That smells like tobacco. My bad, sir. You're like, how old are you? Hand him my ID. Oh, you're 23 years old. Well, you're definitely above the age of 18, so here's your ID, here's your pipe, have a nice day. Yeah, thanks, you too. And again, when he was confronting me with it, I knew I had nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rude about it. I wasn't, you know, yes sir, no sir, shit like that, you know. And I understand he's trying to do his job. And even I would have enough common sense to go, there's too many people here. I'm not about to bust out a pipe and just start blazing a bowl, you know what I'm saying? Common sense, you know. Whatever. Despite the fact that I had that little incident, and after the cop dismissed me or whatever, I walked away and I was bitching and complaining, and my dad's like, oh, so the cop was talking to you, what was it about? Was it about that pipe of yours? I'm just like, what else would it be about? You know, it's just like, really? Little shit like that, you know. I suppose it could be worse, right? Now, if you look, marijuana does not stay lit like that. It doesn't curl smoke out of the bowl like that. You can't just continuously draw on it like this. If they were to know the difference between marijuana and tobacco, tobacco is a lot drier than marijuana. Marijuana is actually sticky with resin, so as a result, you have to continuously light it. You can't just puff on it like tobacco here, huh? But, the coroner, it turns out, when they did the autopsy report on him, because they found marijuana in his system and because he died, they didn't take a look at the fact that he jumped off the building. That jump was the cause of his death, damn it. Okay? Not the marijuana. Okay? I saw that story on that. That just flat out pissed me off. Like, oh, he eats a marijuana cookie and jumps off the building. It's his choice, I guess, you know. It doesn't mean you label marijuana as the cause of death. Okay? It's bullshit. And I've talked to a lot of people here in town who smoke weed themselves, and I'm just like, yeah. Little known fact here, YouTube, that well over half of Casper, Wyoming smokes marijuana, so arresting us all wouldn't do you any good. You'd lose your economy right quick, you would. And building a jail big enough to hold us all, it'd be a huge waste of taxpayers' money. A huge waste. So, you know, tell Matt Mead to go weed or go home. well, that's enough bitching and ranting for one day. But again, if you're being bullied in school, you know, try talking to somebody. Don't just jump to your fists right away. You see what I'm saying? At least give the benefit of the doubt that it can be solved by talking about it, you know. That way when you do go to use your fists and they get you in trouble for it, you can call them out on their hypocrisy. You see what I'm saying? If they get pissed off about it, well, it is what it is, right? Well, until then, this is KingCobraJFS with another video, and again, you know, thanks for watching, and see y'all later.